Dove Cameron, Sofia Carson, and other original cast members of Descendants have shared heartfelt and honest reactions about the upcoming release of Descendants: The Rise of Red. Many fans originally fell in love with the franchise because of the iconic characters Mal, Evie, Jay, and Carlos, whose strong on-screen chemistry and real-life friendship created a family-like bond that resonated with audiences. The first three films were directed by Kenny Ortega, who once emphasized that choosing the right actors to portray the villain kids would be key to the series' success, something that clearly proved true. Over time, the cast became very close and often addressed fan questions about the future of the story, which may explain why, after the third film, the usual closing line hinting that the story was not over was noticeably absent.
Dove said, and I think that if we can leave our audience with this third film feeling that we've answered all their questions, which I think in terms of script we have, and if we can leave them feeling closer to themselves through us, then that's success.
Then Sofia Carson, who portrayed Evie in Descendants, shared that she felt the story had fulfilled its purpose by both beginning and ending with love. Meanwhile, Booboo Stewart, who played Jay, opened up about how emotional it was filming the final scene of Descendants 3, admitting that it was a very sad and heartfelt moment for the cast, as they said goodbye to the characters and the journey they had shared together.
It wasn't even the last day of filming, but we were shooting the last scene. And I literally could not say the word.
For Booboo Stewart, the cast of Descendants had truly become like family, and he once shared that he could not imagine life without them. The emotions surrounding the end of Descendants 3 became even heavier in 2019 when, shortly before the film's premiere, news broke of the sudden passing of Cameron Boyce, who played Carlos. His death was a heartbreaking loss for the entire cast, especially given how close they all were. Even Dove Cameron, who is usually very private about her personal life, felt compelled to share her grief publicly, expressing how deeply the loss affected her and how difficult it was to process.
I felt really weird about posting about Cameron on social media. Because I felt really emotional and private.
Even now, the original cast of Descendants has spoken about how difficult it is to fully move on from the loss of Cameron Boyce. Booboo Stewart shared that they have continued to support one another through the grief, leaning on each other after the tragic event. With the third film completed and Cameron's unexpected passing, many of them believed the franchise had naturally come to a close. However, when news began circulating about a potential fourth installment, it reportedly left some of the original cast uncertain about what that would mean for them and the legacy they built together. Sofia Carson later expressed that she will always cherish being part of the series and playing Evie, especially since it marked her very first professional acting role.
And for me, it was my first job. It was my first movie. So just that was so magical. Then she continued, for us, it's really hard to imagine doing anything without Cameron. So I think for us, that's where our heart lies. But it's open to so much imagination.
However, Sofia Carson has shared that the idea of returning to another Descendants film without Cameron Boyce would be incredibly difficult for her. At the same time, she admitted feeling conflicted because of the powerful impact her character Evie has had on fans around the world. While honoring Cameron's memory remains deeply important to her, she also recognizes how meaningful the franchise and her role have been to so many people.
One of my greatest honors of my life to play Evie and to be a part of this franchise because, like you've said, we've had the privilege of touching hundreds of millions of...
Sofia Carson has often said she holds Evie very close to her heart and would have gladly continued playing the role under different circumstances. She described her time filming Descendants as one of the happiest periods of her life, making the experience even more bittersweet after the passing of Cameron Boyce. Despite the original cast's complicated feelings about a fourth installment, many fans continued asking for more, which led to the release of the animated special Descendants: The Royal Wedding as a tribute to Cameron. The project reunited much of the cast in a unique way, giving fans another glimpse into the world they loved. In a 2022 interview, Sofia confirmed that for her, that chapter felt closed and that she would not return to the franchise without Cameron. While some fans believe he would have wanted the story to continue, Dove Cameron later explained on the Chicks in the Office podcast that the reasons the original cast may not return go much deeper than people realize.
It'd be really, really hard on the cast to do a film without Cameron. I think that's all something where, like, if there's a part of us that it would feel, I'm sure there's a part that would feel very healing and very much like we're coming home because the series was so important to us at such a pivotal point in our lives personally.
Dove Cameron has explained that even if a fourth film were meant to help everyone heal, returning could still be an emotionally complicated process since everyone grieves differently and revisiting those memories might be overwhelming. She shared that her hesitation about Descendants: The Rise of Red is not about stopping the franchise, but about protecting the well-being of the original cast after the loss of Cameron Boyce. In past interviews, including one with Digital Spy in 2019, Dove acknowledged that it would make sense for the Walt Disney Company to continue expanding the brand, possibly through spin-offs or new characters, since the universe still holds many possibilities. Sofia Carson has similarly expressed gratitude for her time as Evie, while confirming that chapter feels closed for her. Mitchell Hope, who played King Ben, has said he loved portraying the character and would be open to returning in the future, though he recognizes Ben's story is closely tied to Mal. Sarah Jeffrey has shared that she feels satisfied with where Audrey's journey ended in the third film. Meanwhile, China Anne McClain has chosen to reprise her role, explaining that although she still deeply misses Cameron, her faith and personal growth have helped her find the strength to continue. As the franchise moves forward, new cast members such as Kylie Cantrell and Dara Renee have expressed excitement about joining the series. While the journey has been emotional for the original cast, many of them remain grateful for the safe and supportive environment they experienced and are choosing to honor that chapter of their lives while moving ahead in their own ways.